Don't get nervous.
Oh my God, it's 2-1-0.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Maddog and Pino NFL wrap-up show for Week 6. How you doing tonight, Pino?
Pino's all right. I got even the losers get lucky sometime gear on. I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. You know, this is yet another attempt at a remote podcast, but with upgraded audio and we're one half step away from a producer. So we actually met with a producer who,
and this guy sold us so hard on the fact that we need a producer, and exactly. I don't know if that means we're getting sold or that we suck.
Or that we actually need one, yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what.
I'm not sure which either.
I should have got a spray tan or something. Sure.
But this is the first time we actually have video. If we care to share it at some point, but we do have video being recorded at the moment.
And by the way, look at the helmets I put in the background. Can you see them?
Now, what you got, the miniature helmets back there? What's going on?
They're regular helmets, dude.
All right, you got to get them closer next time.
All right, okay, well, yeah. This is our first remote. We're trying remote again.
Yes, but I think we got it wired this time, so I'm actually pretty excited about this. All right, so again, ton of stuff to talk about in Week 6.
We've got lots to talk about.
But I thought I'd open up with, we've been talking about the NFL, getting all this money from gambling. They're expanding internationally. They're expanding their audience with the Swifties and all of that. And, you would think they have enough money to have a real command center. But they cut to the command center a couple of times this weekend. And I just burst out laughing, man. It was it looked like the startup from any Silicon Valley startup with a bunch of picnic tables in someone's living room with little monitors here and there, a bunch of interns working. It was ridiculous. I'm like, come on, can't you have a real command center?
No, I think you texted me about hey, did you see the command center? It looks like your fraternity house, right? They probably have. I don't even think they have flat screens there. Because I saw it last night, it looks like it's cathode ray, whatever you call it, those big TVs are 12 inches but weighed 500 pounds.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
That's what it appeared to be to me that they were looking at.
Yeah.
and speaking of money, I read today that Goodell's contract.
Yeah.
They extended him for another 3 years. And the New York Post said, so his career earnings in the NFL is around, give or take, $700 million.
I was going to say $1 billion, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's getting close to it. But he can't even afford to buy those sons of bitches flat screens.
Exactly. Or a real computer. They're gathered around one little fucking laptop to review the script, review the call.
I think the progressive insurance people have better replay screens to look at.
So I don't know. I guess they need more money, but they're giving too much of it away to Goodell. I don't know. It just struck me as holy shit, that's their command center. If you see the NBA command center or the Major League Baseball command center, it looks like fucking NASA. You know what I mean? And this one looked like fucking a bunch of interns.
It's us in your theater room with a bunch of bunch of iPads.
Exactly. Wait till you see the video from that one, man. All right. I have one other thing, and I gotta attribute it where I heard it from. Actually, I don't know why we do that. Who cares? When are we going to get sued? We'd love to get sued. Come sue us. Anyway,
as I've said for 2 years, if we make that much commotion that somebody sues us, we'll write the check.
So, all right, this is actually a serious comment. Defenses have kind of caught. I don't know if they catch up or whatever. Like, there's a bunch of tape now and they can review it, but 19 teams, and we can go through it when we get to the games. But 19 teams out of 30 this week scored less than 20 points. That's kind of crazy in this day and age in the NFL, don't you think? I mean, just like you expect, like shootout, and they literally had 19 teams score less than 20 points.
Seriously, like most games I watch, I was like, I hope you didn't take the over in it.
Right? Yeah, no, exactly.
That's what was going on. But when you break out like the 19 out of 30, you're prepared as a motherfucker, man.
Well, I wish I did my independent research, but again, that was a moving the chains.
That's why we use that's why we use AI.
Exactly. All right, so this weekend was also the throwback uniform weekend, and we. I know you probably have all sorts of comments about fashion and everything else, but the one that struck me was the Buccaneers. And, everyone loves those uniforms, like the creamsicle uniforms, but didn't they go?
But they didn't go full creamsicle. Like they could have went orange. Like they could have went orange pants because they've done it before. Okay. Well, I guess you and maybe they should go creamsicle all the time. I think.
Well, here's the thing that you and I will remember, maybe some of our listeners, but not our younger crowd for sure. But weren't they like 0-20? Weren't they like 0-26 with those uniforms on?
They were so bad. That's when like John McKay was their head coach, and exactly. he had the get back coach on the sideline, like just keeping guys to get back so they didn't get a penalty for going on the field.
Exactly.
That was before Doug Williams showed up.
So exactly. So I'm sure you had more. You noticed more with the throwback tonight.
Here's what I got about throwback. I love the creamsicles. That was one of the first notes I took this weekend. What was the other one? The Falcon, the Liza Minnelli's. They broke out the red helmets again with the black jerseys.
They found their hat. They found their hat.
They broke out the Tony Gonzalez unis. They still lost, so that was kind of a bummer. And then watching the Giants Buffalo game Sunday night. Obviously they went back to the Scott Norwood wide right.
Right.
Deal. And here's what I want to see this year. I want to see a kicker break out that face mask.
The single bar,
the Norwood, like that every kicker wore. Like even Joe Theismann wore it as a quarterback.
Yeah, I remember that. That's great.
I want to see that. And then prior to getting to games, I gotta say this, dude. I want to shit on the Jets as a Giants fan growing up there.
Of course.
They had a big win, so we can get into that. But the fact that Aaron Rodgers was on the field, not wearing a boot, throwing footballs, he had fucking Achilles surgery not even 2 months ago.
But he had the special new age, like no one's ever had Achilles surgery.
I know he's eating mushrooms and shit like that, but like it's crazy the fact that he's throwing footballs without a boot on. I think.
Yeah, no, I know. He's still. I mean, he could be back by the playoffs. That's what he's saying. So, and it turns out maybe they'll be there. Who the fuck knows at this point?
Yeah. And I have two more items.
All right, you go for it.
Relative to the cliches that everyone uses, dialing it up. That's the same thing as calling a play, right?
Yes. I will interpret for you.
If you call a play, you dial something up.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
All right, and then I think that ineligible downfield. Has there been a season that you've seen that penalty called more than right now?
Dude, it's a point of emphasis. You know what I mean?
So here's in my notes, dude. I have Is ineligible downfield a point of emphasis?
It is. It
must
is.
be. The guys are a yard and a half off the line of scrimmage, and they're throwing flags.
I know they're calling it a little too tight, I think, but yeah.
I totally agree.
All right, so all right, let's get into the games. Unless you had something else you want to do. All right,
I think
this is the way to get into the game. So the Miami Dolphins of 1972 popped the champagne again this weekend. And first of all, normally we see a video of that. I didn't see a video of that, so maybe they're all dead. I don't know, but
it might be that. Or Jim Kick with that handlebar mustache is getting laid. Like he's pouring champagne all over Hooker's body. Like he seems to me like he's that kind of guy. Zonka is like, who knows what he's doing. Mercury Morris is in jail. Bob Greasy is figuring out like that stupid face mask he had. But Jim Kick, he's partying.
Anyway, wherever they are, they popped the champagne this weekend because the only two remaining undefeated teams are no longer undefeated. So the 49ers, who looked dominant, haven't lost a regular season game in like 15 or something like that, lost at the Browns 17-19. And who would have thought this going into the game that P.J. Walker would outplay Brock Purdy? Like, first of all, P.J. Walker was on the practice squad, didn't even get to start 2 weeks ago. And then they put, after DTR's performance, they raised him out the practice squad.
Right, yeah. Right.
and he started and beat arguably the best team in the NFL. This game was like just ugly. I mean, I opened with 19 teams under 20 points. Both of these teams didn't get to 20 points. And here's the thing, like, you know, the 49ers lost McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel in the game. And everyone's saying, well, we lost two of our best players, so of course we're going to lose the game. I'm like, well, aren't you the best roster in the NFL? You can't beat the Browns with a third-string quarterback. I mean, that's not an excuse, right? I mean, didn't make any sense to me.
But how long have I been saying like McCaffrey's going to get hurt?
Totally agree.
Right, they play too much. Right, like I think we talk about that every week.
Yeah.
And all that being said, like that field goal that he should have made, whoever their kicker is, should have made to win the game. Right? I mean, and he barely missed it.
Yeah, I know. So that I was going to say the same thing. So they obviously are a good team. They obviously didn't bring their A game, but they still drove the ball down the end of the field, got in a position to win the game with a very makeable field goal, and the guy missed a 41-yard field goal.
What's your like? I can't even believe he escapes my head right now. Their linebacker.
Fred Warner.
Fred Warner. It has to be the best linebacker in the NFL.
I'm not going to disagree.
I don't think there's any question about that. But also inside of that game, what the fuck were the Browns doing with those unis? And what is that logo they have at the middle of?
We've talked about that.
It looks like a fighting Irish guy, but he's not.
It's like the fighting elf or something. I have no idea how it relates to the Browns. Like when they ever used it, but they painted it on the middle of their field. I mean, come on.
Right. I mean, they should roll that out at Christmas. Right. I would think.
Right.
I don't know. It's just my thought. I don't know. I'm no expert. Clearly, I'm not in their marketing department.
So here's the thing that Browns fans are getting justifiably pissed off about. So Deshaun Watson didn't play for the second game in a row, and they're questioning his heart and whether he's actually really injured and all of that. And you know, only he knows whether he can throw the ball at an NFL level or whatever. But other people have played through the injury he's got. And then he came out today and said, "There's no timetable for my return." So,
really? As of today?
Yeah, he said that today. So, which got me thinking. I'm like, how much have they paid this guy, and how many games does he actually play? So,
dude. He's got the bag. He's got the bag. It's all guaranteed. Right? So why rush it?
Yeah, why? So he's been paid $96 million, and I think started 13 times. So that's a little nuts.
Did you do the math on that?
Yeah, I kind of carried the one. I don't know.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Carry the one. It's a lot. Right.
It's a lot. So, but the Browns are, I guess, in second place in that division. I don't know, but their defense is insane. I mean, their defense is really good. So, and they made the 49ers, injuries aside, kind of look pedestrian for most of the game. So I don't know.
I love that description, pedestrian. I love that.
All right. So the other undefeated team was the Philadelphia Eagles, who had also won like 15 straight regular season games or something like that. And they lost 20-14 at the New York Jets. And this is kind of, I couldn't believe this. I thought it was like a mistake when they said it. The Jets have never in their entire history beat the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean,
yeah, they were 0-12 prior to that. I think it was 0-12 prior to that game.
Yes, which is crazy. I mean, they've been in existence. I know they don't play them every year or even every other year, but still, like 50 years and they haven't beat the Eagles yet. I mean, it just seems weird to me. But
shout out to Jimmy Ham. Right, like,
exactly.
And I would love to shit all over the Jets, but
yes,
it's impressive what they've done since they lost the magic mushroom guy 4 places into the season, and the fact that they won that game, like that defense is obviously legit.
Yeah,
Saleh is clearly a good head coach, and one of the things I noticed. At the beginning of the second half, the defensive coordinator of the Jets, he was going to smelling salts.
Just to keep his head in the game.
He didn't have a helmet on, he didn't have pads on, but he was going to the salts, and I'm like, all right, this shit's for real.
He's getting ready, man. Holy shit. So they actually, the first time I've actually seen this really since his rookie year, but they made Jalen Hurts look bad. I mean, he threw 3 interceptions, and I don't think he's thrown 3 interceptions all year.
And he threw the worst interception that you could throw at the end of that game.
Exactly, and gave the Jets a chance to put it away, and they did. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I don't know.
Who ran it in for a touchdown? Was it Breece Hall or Bryce Hall? Because I'm confused.
I get confused too.
But the Jets' record is what it is.
Yeah, they're 3-3.
So Fireman Ed, I'm on board, and like the guy, like they showed like Jet fan he had 9 million beads around him with a couple license plates toward the end of that game. Hey, shout out! You gotta give props where props are due.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They have a really tough schedule, but so every week it's a tough game for them. But Zach Wilson's given them everything they need, really. I mean, he didn't make a mistake this game, which is probably
right. He's not turning the ball over. Right, he's handing off. You're right.
Exactly to Breece or Bryce Hall, someone like that.
Right, and then Rodgers is on the sideline because he's like, "Fuck this, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift bullshit."
Yeah,
I'm keeping my name in this deal.
I need to get some press too. Exactly.
Right.
All right. So the popping champagne team, the Finns, they were not undefeated. They had lost to the Bills a couple of weeks ago, but they played as well as any team in the NFL has this year. And they did win 42-21 against the Panthers at home, but they were down 14-0, and things looked, like, oh, maybe this is another big upset this week, and then they rattle off 35 unanswered points. So that's the Dolphins in a nutshell, man. They can score at will when they want to. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, and like as long as Cheetah doesn't get hurt, like doing backflips after he scores touchdowns. Because that's his MO, like taking selfies, doing backflips.
You know what? I fucking love that, man. Like, and he got fined, and he basically said, "I don't give a shit. Fine me." Like, you know what I mean? So,
right.
So I love that. Like, yeah, have fun with it. You know, it's not like, remember when they used to call the NFL the no fun league because the what was it? The Redskins fun bunch or whatever used to gather in the end zone and do all sorts of crazy shit. And they outlawed that for like a decade. Now they're at least letting them celebrate in the end zone.
Now they let the entire defense run into the end zone after even if they have to run 85 yards to do it.
It's still okay, right?
Yeah, it's all good.
I don't know. So Finns, look good now. I mean, they're arguably still one of the better teams, and they're certainly one of the better offenses, which is kind of crazy.
Yep.
All right. Next game I had was Lions. Again, kind of going down the theme of quasi best teams in the NFL. Lions were at the Buccaneers in the creamsicle jerseys, and they won 20-6. This is directionally correct. I did not check my math on this one, but I think the Lions are like 15-1 over their last 16 regular season games, something like that. Again, directionally correct. So I don't know when everyone's going to forget what kind of uniform they wear and say they're one of the best teams in the NFL, but they're one of the best teams in the NFL. I mean, they really are.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And whenever you get directionally correct, I get fired up because that to me that means you're serious. Dude, Jared Goff is.
Yeah, I was just going to go there.
You talk about proving people wrong.
Yeah.
Right, like the Rams shuttled him out of here, and we'll get to the Rams later. McVay's doing a good job, but Jared Goff is kicking ass.
Yeah, no, he threw.
That offense is good, and now their defense is playing really well, and you gotta love Dan Campbell. Like, so the Giants are out of it, right? So maybe that might be my team. If Barry Sanders or Billy Sims came back, I'd definitely be down with that team.
So Goff, just to provide another layer to it, Goff threw for 353 yards, 2 touchdowns, didn't throw an interception.
Damn, you're prepared as a motherfucker.
And my note was, is he elite? Because no one's going to put him in that category. But how can you argue against it at this point? One of the stats I saw was, and this is not what he did in LA, was he is like by far like number one in every category: completion percentage, yardage, of passes that go more than 20 yards in the air. So like he's accurate on deep balls. He can certainly throw the underneath shit. He proved that in LA. So like he's just started getting his due, I guess is my point.
I think the biggest improvement is that he realized the earth isn't flat, right? That it's actually round, right? Because wasn't that the big controversy at like his first season of Hard Knocks? Even though he's a Cal graduate
exactly.
or student. Dude, he throws a great deep ball, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's always on the money, man. It's crazy.
I mean, he's no Tyrod Taylor,
but
it's pretty good.
But you mentioned the Lions D, and this is my favorite quote of the post game press conferences. And Todd Bowles came up. He's like, "Yeah, we were only 2 of 12 on third down. We were very good on third down." And he paused. He's like, "Yeah, we weren't really good on first or second down either."
Yeah, we were good on any down.
Exactly. So the Lions defense had something to do with that, I suspect. All right, so this is where
you know what the bummer is. Lions don't have any throwback unis because they've only had the same unis
forever. You're right. All right, this is my favorite part of the podcast where I can just sit back and listen for a while.
Let's riff. Like
the Giants
on a Taco Bell commercial.
The Giants 9 at the Bills 14.
Oh, Maddog. So here I am, like collecting a moral victory, right?
Yeah.
And that our pick was Buffalo in the survivor pool. So
I know. Yes.
And when they were up, your brother sent me a text. He's like, "I know it's got to be bittersweet for you." When the Giants were up. couple things. So when the Giants rolled out, when they first rolled out on the field, and I saw the throwback like 86 unis,
right,
for primetime. Usually, every time they wear those throwback unis, they get the shit beat out of them. Right, so I'm like, this is not good. This isn't going anywhere. It was a moral victory for them, right? So the season's done. They're not making the playoffs. They're not winning that division. But at least they fought, right? The offensive line sort of kind of got their shit together. I mean, Tyrod Taylor played as well as you could play. How you don't call pass interference on that last play? Is beyond me.
Honestly, like it reminded me of the Super Bowl where they did call something actually way less than that. It wasn't even in the end zone. They called it, and the guy, I think it was Bradbury, said, "Yeah, it was holding." But so this is. Last year, right? That was crazy.
Like the DB had his back to Tyrod Taylor, and was grabbing Waller's either right or left arm, which it doesn't matter which one.
Yeah.
And the ball was incomplete, and there was no call.
Yeah, and he couldn't get his other arm up there to catch it.
When they've scored the next play, I don't know. So and I was kind of like in a bad spot. Like, do I, how pissed off am I versus not? That offensive line is a mess.
Yeah, but you know what? I think I texted you after the game. Like, they have way more heart than the Bills have. Like, they were playing, with way more intensity, way more heart, and their D just like, I mean, the Bills didn't score to the fourth quarter. So I mean,
and that's what I took out of that game. Like, their defense finally showed up. Bobby Okieri.
Yeah,
right?
No, he
had a fucking phenomenal game.
I totally agree. Real, all over the field. And then honestly, like, even before your drive that ended with that call, Josh Allen did, like, he's like, I'm not going to make these stupid throws anymore. And he got so fucking lucky, dude. He threw that touchdown. And it was exactly the throws that he makes at the end of like 4 games last year where they pick it off the end of the game. And he's just kind of miraculous, just like got lucky and threaded like this really weird window where 2 Giants should have intercepted it or at least blocked it. So I'm like, I came away from that game thinking the Bills ain't doing shit this year. I'm telling you right now, they're just not doing anything. I'm telling you. You can lay it. You can give them a pass on 1 game or 2 games, but they already fucking laid 3 eggs this year. So like, they're not that good a team, I don't think.
I agree. And enough about the Bills Mafia. All right. every fan base gets fucked up tailgating. All right?
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly. So I didn't know where to put this next game, but I figured Mad Pup's probably listening, so I'll put it here. Like, it doesn't fit anywhere. But the Pats lost to at the Raiders 21-17. And this was, I didn't realize how many, like, this is like, the Raiders are kind of the Patriots West. You know what I mean? They got Jacoby Meyer, Jimmy G, Josh McDaniels. It's like, they kind of, so I didn't like at the surface, like, think about how many, revenge / teacher pupil fucking things there were in this game. But anyway, I don't know.
And both teams have hooers up in the press box.
Yes, that's true.
Or let me say massage therapists.
And Jimmy G needed a massage therapist. He got hurt and left the game. Shocking, I know. And then Brian Hoyer came in the second half. Doesn't it seem like Brian Hoyer's been playing for like 30 years in the NFL? It turns out it actually is 15, so maybe it's like not that much of an exaggeration.
He's been playing in the NFL as long as Bo Nix has been playing in the NCAA. Like, he's been playing college football.
That is true, man. That's so true. So here's a question: are the Pats the worst team in the NFL? Like we like give them credit because they're the Patriots, but like I think they actually could be the worst team in the NFL. And if they
I think the Giants could be.
They'd be in contention. but let's go with the Let's go with the Pats for a second. And if they are, I mean, do you think they wouldn't actually? I can't imagine they'd actually fire him. But do you think they say maybe it's time to move on? Or maybe what they say is like, maybe you're no longer GM. You can continue to coach until you beat Shula's record. But that's kind of what it's got to be all about right now, right? They're not going to they're not going to get Caleb Williams and think that Belichick is going to be there for the next 8 years and turn him into Tom Brady. You know what I mean? Like, there's got to be some plan there and that plan's got to be Belichick's not part of it at some point very soon.
Right, but I totally agree. And so I don't think it matters about their record. I'll miss him as much as I love Tomlin at a presser. I love Belichick.
Yeah. Oh, you got to. You got it.
Like he's awesome at a presser, but he's got to be on thin ice. There's no
way
if ands or buts about it, right? So I think I gotta believe they will let him break the record for wins.
I didn't look at this. How close is he?
Yeah, I don't know.
But he is getting close. I mean, he's like within a season. I mean, within a normal season of it, right?
Yeah, or season and a half kind of thing away from it.
Right.
But yeah, they kind of suck, right? And they're dysfunctional.
Yeah, and obviously, well, I shouldn't say obviously, but Mac Jones does not appear to be a NFL starting caliber quarterback, really, when you break it down over the course of 2.5 seasons. So
even with Billy O'Brien, they should go back to those Patty Patriot helmets.
They should. That's what they should have done in throwback weekend. All right, so next game, Colts 20 at the Jags 37. Again, I didn't understand the theme of this weekend being like, like revenge or like.
Where was this game? Was this in Germany or like?
I actually wrote down not Jolly-O. This was actually in Jacksonville.
Oh, was it in the United States?
It was, yes.
Okay.
But similar to all the expats coming back to the Raiders, similar to the ex-Bills coming back to the Bills from the Giants.
Did you mean expatriates or
no, I was just
like that. United States citizens? Or?
No, expatriates.
Okay, I knew.
So in this case, there was only one, but it was Gardner Minshew coming back, playing against his, the team that he arguably built that stadium. They were ready to move, and like it's Minshew mania, and he got them back to relevance at some level. So I'm sure he was all jacked up, but he laid an egg, man. He had 4 turnovers and did not play a good game.
But his hair looks good. He's got the good mustache.
Exactly. He looked good doing it. And then Trevor Lawrence got hurt this game. So it looked, and they play like Thursday. So I think they're going with CJ Beathard or whatever to start again.
Oh yeah, Thursday. Is that Bobby Beathard's grandson?
maybe great. Maybe great.
The kid who used to work at Vaughn's in Manhattan Beach?
Yeah. Yes. Okay, next game. Cowboys 20 at the Chargers 17 in SoFi Stadium, although you couldn't really tell because it was basically a Dallas home game in terms of the fans in attendance. And this is one game where, again, going back to my opening comment, like this game you thought like, the first one to 40 wins, but it turned out it was the first one to 20 to win. So but I'm watching this game, and I'm sure you were as well, and thinking like, even though they only scored 37 points between them, I'm like, God, I wish I had one of those offenses compared to what I run out of fucking every Sunday.
I wish I had that quarterback.
Exactly. Jesus Christ, man. But and the defenses obviously played really well. Until the last drive, the Cowboys converted like 3 long first downs on their game-winning drive to win. but I don't. Someone reached out to me and said like, all right, who do you like tonight? Because it was a Monday night game, and I'm like, I don't trust either one of these teams. I would stay away. Don't bet this game. Don't touch it. Like something fucking stupid is going to happen. Like don't even attempt to like bet on either one of these two teams because you never know what you're going to get. So I still think I have a read on the Cowboys, and I have less of a read on the Chargers right now after that game.
Well, check out Maddog, like being like the FanDuel guy, like giving the expertise. Yeah, like how long do you think Brandon Staley keeps that job?
We've talked about this a bunch. I'm shocked that he still has a job.
I think he grew the beard. Like, so no one noticed him? Did you see the beard
maybe they'll mistake him for Kyle Shanahan or something.
Like he's a different coach. Like, hey, it's not really Staley. Like, he has a beard, like full-on beard after the bye week. I was kind of tripped out by that. And then rolling Herbie out there with, like, the broken middle finger on his non-throwing hand.
Yeah. Yeah, he
don't stop.
No, go ahead.
No, and they don't seem to stop anybody when they need to.
No, I know. So, again, I have no read on the Chargers. The Chargers just seem to be in this. I mean, they're wasting Herbert. I mean, I think that's obvious. Maybe they'll make a run and struggle to make the playoffs, but then they'll flame out as usual. And this guy's in his prime. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and they're just not. I don't know why they had the highest paid defense in the NFL. So how that equates to like a losing record, or I just can't fathom.
Especially with your head coach used to be a defensive coordinator, right?
Right.
Stanley was a defensive coordinator. So I bumped for Herbie, but he's going to have the career that Dan Fouts had. Close,
right. Yeah, that's
cigar.
Well, at least Dan Fouts made the playoffs every year and played in AFC Championship.
Right, and I like Herbert's only 4 years in,
right?
So
right,
he will
right.
He'll have his tight end being carried off the field like Kellen Winslow was in Miami, like that kind of deal. But I think that's what he's going to have. That's going to be his career.
I think you might be right. I think you might be right about that. The other comment I had on this game was especially the primetime games, they have a pre-packaged, like, this is what we're going to do, right? So in this game, it was like, we are going to isolate Mika Parsons every play.
Look at this, Mr. Steeler.
and show how dominant he is. So they like literally spent the first quarter and a half isolating him, and he did shit. He didn't do one goddamn thing. So I'm like,
right.
Why are they like sucking this guy's dick? He's like having a bad game. Like, stop isolating on him. You know what I mean? Or at least talk about how the Chargers are dealing him out of the game.
Right. Yeah. Right. But I will tell you this, dude, that reminds me of like a note I had. Aikman might be the best analyst watching doing football games. Because there is no bullshit with him.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's good. But he did go off the rails a little bit this week. Even Joe Buck called him out on it. He said something like, wow, you're in rare form this week. Because he was saying, for him, he was saying like Tony Romo-esque comments. And for him, that's like way out in left field. And Joe Buck kind of called him out on it. So I thought that was kind of funny.
I'm trying to think, like, I thought I sent you something last night, he's harder than Aikman was harder on Dak than anyone I've ever heard. Maybe more than Nev D.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I remember one specific one. He's like, they gave it was 3rd and 4 or something. They gave CeeDee Lamb 1-on-1, and the guy was like 10 yards off the line of scrimmage. And Aikman was like, I don't know what they're doing in the NFL offense anymore. Yeah. Like, how does that guy just turn around and run a curl route and they complete the pass?
Exactly. He was like, why are they making it so complicated?
Exactly.
But then he mentioned he went to the Santa Monica Pier.
Oh, he did? I didn't get that.
Yeah. He's like, I lived in LA for a long time, go to school here, and I've driven by it a million times, so I finally walked down it today. What I would have appreciated him saying was, I've been to Hercules a bunch of times.
Exactly. Okay, let's go back across the pond for a second. Ravens,
By the way, is every game? By the way, is every week now? Is there a game in Europe?
No, I think the quote unquote international series is over for this year. So
no, there's a game this week. I think there's a game this week.
Oh, there is? Oh, I thought it was over.
Germany. No, I think there's one in Germany.
Oh, Jesus, I didn't know that.
Didn't it? And that's a note I had. Didn't it used to be one game a year across the pond, wherever the fuck it was?
Yep.
We're now I think 5 weeks in a row.
Yes, we are.
Give or take. Yeah, let me look it up. Go ahead. So keep going.
No.
I'll figure out who's playing there.
All right. Anyway, I didn't wake up for this game, so it's the Ravens won 24-16. I actually did see most of the game, and the Ravens. It was a Ravens game. They couldn't really score. They had Justin Tucker kick 6 field goals, so and LJ kind of put it.
Justin Tucker band or Justin Tucker? Okay.
Justin Tucker kicked 6 field goals. I think he was pissed off because remember the Colts kicker kicked 5 50-yard field goals in Baltimore to beat him.
The gay guy.
So, exactly, the gay guy. So
I just wish kickers would come out with that single bar.
Noted.
Because they're not going to make a goddamn tackle.
No.
You hope not. And every kickoff's out of the end zone. So, all right, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
That's all right. I don't know. That's all I had in the game. So the Steelers are on a bye this week. Every team in their division won. So I'm like, fuck. We are in first place for a half a second. Probably only half second. We're going to be in first place. But all of them could have lost. But anyway, that's beside the point. All right, Commanders 24 at the Falcons 16. So my only comment in this game was I kind of saw this one coming. I actually bet the Commanders.
Did you?
Yeah.
Check you out. Check you out.
For you betting aficionados out there, for 2 reasons. Commanders are on a mini bye. They played last Thursday night, and then anytime a team plays like shit one week, they're probably going to play better, or the spread doesn't reflect. The spread's more reflecting how they played like shit the week before. So there's a recency bias.
Reaction.
Yeah, there's a recency bias, and the
recency
Falcons.
Bias. Looks like Maddog. It's like a fucking algorithm. Wait, can you start all over? I'm going to get my pen out. So I can write this shit down.
There will be a final exam at the end of the season.
God, man, I'm going to make some money. All right, recency. How do you spell recency?
And similarly, Desmond Ridder played out of his head last week, and you kind of knew he would revert to the mean. Again, you could write that one down, but
and again, we talked about this last week. Is it revert to the mean or revert to the average? It's revert to the mean, right? You're the one. You're the math guy.
I think mean and average are the same thing. Mean and average are the same thing. I think that's
the mean is in the middle.
Yeah, no, that's the median. So who knew that you're going to get a math lesson on the Maddog and Pino podcast?
So anyhow, if 3x equals 6, solve for x.
2. Okay.
X equals 5. Oh wait, no, it doesn't equal 5.
Anyway, Desmond Ridder threw 3 picks, and that kind of says all you need to know. All you need to know on that one.
Yeah, and that one, like Liza Minnelli said, "Fuck it, I'm just going to go home and get beat by my mother." Judy Garland.
I hope someone in the audience actually remembers those references because they're fucking awesome.
Yeah, well, they are actually true.
All right, a game that I really didn't spend much time looking at, but the Vikings won 19-17 against the Bears in Soldier Field. I
didn't even realize they played.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what to say about the game. There wasn't a lot of offense in this game. They had a grand total of 400 and something yards. So like that's one of the reasons I stopped paying attention to it. But
we can move on from that. And Justin Fields got hurt, right?
Right. So they put in this guy Tyler Baggett, I guess, and everyone's in love with this guy apparently. But I mean,
Tyler Baggett.
Yeah, Baggett. I don't know. Baggett.
Where's he from? Florence?
I think he's from Purdue. Maybe via Florence. I'm not sure. Saints 10 at the Texans 20. All I know is Derek Carr threw for 353 yards and they only scored 10 points. So I'm not sure how that happens, but CJ Stroud finally threw an interception, but I don't know. Texans are a good team. The Steelers learned that a few weeks ago.
And CJ Stroud's probably like out of that draft, like the draft class from this year, he's probably the best quarterback, right?
So far.
At least so far.
Yeah,
so far.
Not even close. That does give me an opportunity to go back to something I didn't say earlier, which is Anthony Richardson, who's actually had a decent season, but he's played in 5 games and gone out in 4 of them.
And now he's out for the rest of the year.
Now he's out for the rest of the year, and so what do you do with this guy, man? Like you can't they're not going to turn him into like a drop back passer. I mean, so how do you tone that down and keep him healthy? I think they're in a world of hurt there. Even though he's a dynamic player and all that, but like if you tell him to stop doing what he does, then he's going to be throwing picks all over the place. I think. I mean,
right.
So I don't know, but yeah, he made the decision to have season-ending surgery. So I shouldn't say he. I think there was a bunch of people, and I actually read something where the how they dealt with Andrew Luck's injury is informing how they're dealing with him. They want to take care of it and for the long term, blah blah blah. But anyway,
so they weren't as conservative with Luck as they are.
That was now. Yeah, that was the implication of the, and we all know how that turned out.
And I think we've talked about it before. Like they have to deal with the fact that Tony Richardson gets hurt every week. Every time he plays, he gets hurt.
Right,
because he's out there, like more reckless than Jalen Hurts or anybody else who runs the football as a quarterback.
Yeah,
right.
And maybe you can learn that, but I don't know, man. It's he hasn't played a lot, so I don't know how you retrain that on the fly in the NFL. But anyway,
right.
That topic for next year at this point, I guess. So the other game that again neither team scored 20 points was the Seattle lost 13-17 at the Bengals. This is another game I was watching and I just got bored watching it because no one was doing anything. In the second half, I think they scored 3 points or something like that. But Burrow kind of still started looking the way he has in the past. And I don't know that again, every team in my division won. The Bengals, who's, everyone kind of not wrote up, but said, oh, here we go again. Now they're 3-3 and starting to play better. So I don't know. Who knows what happens with either one of those teams?
Yeah, I didn't watch that game. But I'll tell you this. I'm kind of tired of Burrow. I know he's a great quarterback and he throws in tight windows and this, that, and the other thing. But I'm tired of looking at what sunglasses he wears or
You're tired about the fashion angle? I mean, come on. All right, who cares about that game? I guess the last game. Wow, we're going here rapid fire. Cardinals 9 at the Rams 26. You know what? Again, I got to give props to the Cardinals. Again, if they're tanking, they're doing it in a very artful way. You know what I mean?
They are. They're being very deceptive about it.
Exactly.
Right.
They were up not.
Especially with a quarterback going through chemotherapy. Watch it.
Will Smith is gonna come up and
keep your quarterback's name out of my mouth.
Yeah, and then I don't know the Rams. We were talking, we talked about this in a few podcasts, but at the beginning of the season, we're like the Rams are going to suck. Turns out they don't, man. They they're putting together. I mean, their offense is pretty, which I guess you would expect from McVay, but they do it in so many different ways. What's his name? Williams, Kyril, whatever his name is. Williams had 150 yards rushing. So they saw an opportunity. They were just ramming it down their throats in the second half and, pulled away and they won 26-9. And now they got Cooper Kupp back, who looks like Cooper Kupp. So who knows?
Yeah, he made a couple great catches, like as I was kind of watching that game. And, the Cool Makatana, like the rookie.
yes.
Continue to get him the ball. And hey, man, and that's another guy I tried to give shit all over him. But McVay has done a great job with that team.
Yeah, he has.
No question about it.
Totally has. And the Steelers are coming to SoFi next week. So,
are you going? You're going to the game? You're going to be back?
I expect to be back. I unfortunately have a Syracuse event at Dick Clark's mansion. Obviously, it's his estate's mansion at this point, but in Malibu.
Yeah, Dick Clark is dead. There's no way you're not going to that game.
Dude, honestly, I'm probably not going to the game. I'll be in Pittsburgh the following weekend to see him play Jacksonville. I already saw him play the Raiders. If they somehow make a run, I'll watch another game at some point.
But the Steelers are going to be at SoFi, and you're not going to be at SoFi.
I don't think so, man. I don't think so.
It's 8 miles from. It's 8 miles from your house.
I understand, but let's put a pin in it. It's still a possibility, right. In part because there's so many Steeler fans. Not that I don't feel like paying through the nose. I don't want to go see the Steelers in a different stadium and watch them from really shitty seats. You know what I mean? I have great seats in Pittsburgh, and
you would never watch them from shitty seats.
Yeah, so that's I don't know. Lots of factors going on, including whether I'll actually be back in LA. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, you got to be, or you'll be in Malibu. So it's a win-win.
Exactly. I think we covered all the games, man. Believe it or not. Holy crap. What else you got to say about the NFL at this state of the, I don't know what it is, the third poll?
No, I do. I think I did look at my iPhone. We're 33%.
Wow. All right. There you go.
Of the season is played. And there's probably decimal points that I don't know about, but I'm fucking rounding up. I don't have anything else other than the fact that I'm just bummed. I'm tired of blowing off summers, right? To get to the football season, and then having the Giants suck.
Yeah.
So last night I watched. I think it was an hour and 15 minutes. I'll call it a documentary on the 2011 Giants.
Yeah, you got to keep, rekindle the passion.
I need something positive. But I got nothing else on the past week. Let me think. Let me make sure.
Yeah, clear.
I mentioned the Cowboys got the offensive lineman.
Yeah, I don't know. You did to me earlier. I don't know if you did it on the podcast.
All right. Well, maybe if I'll be redundant if I haven't. If I did, Cowboys the right guard and the right tackle. Both of them have a last name of Smith, and there's no initial before the Smith, which I found. I thought that was a head scratcher because in the NFL these days there's a Bradbury 4, there's a Mad Dog 3, there's a this, that, and the other thing. And two guys with just Smith, are they trying to be anonymous, avoid the cops? What's going on there?
Maybe they're trying to confuse the officials, so they don't know which one to call it on, so they just don't call a penalty.
That's what I mean. Are they trying to be anonymous? And then the only other what do I have? The Wildcat.
Okay.
Because there was a couple games this weekend. I where they ran, and the Wildcat was unbelievably unsuccessful. So I think the Wildcat's been played out. Like everyone's kind of like when you put the running back in the shotgun, every defense knows. Every defense knows.
He's probably not throwing the ball.
Right. Exactly.
All right, man. That's our episode, I think.
Yeah, I think it is. Oh, I'll do one more thing.
Okay.
And this is important. Mike McCarthy, like his oak tag. I think I talked about it last week.
Yeah.
Like it looked like what I used to bring to St. Catherine's, like for photos, like to show what photosynthesis did. Right? He's still oversized oak tag. And what I've noticed on head coaches, they now that like Patricia had the number 2 Ticonderoga, right? Pencil, the number 2 pencil.
Yes.
And now they all seem to have Sharpies in their helmet, in their hats. However, all the play cards, whether it's McCarthy's huge oak tag or Sean McVay is as small as goddamn the wristband that you put on the quarterback, they all seem to be laminated. So how do you write on them? I don't care if it's a Sharpie.
I guess a Sharpie and you wipe it off. Maybe I don't know. Or maybe get one of those whiteboard markers or something.
No, but I mean, like you write on the thing and then it's
it's
probably gone. Like I don't get it. Like so, I got to figure that thing out.
Yeah, why don't you just do some research?
Yeah, no, I will. I'm gonna try and get on the sideline. I'll figure that out before the end of the season, and that's all I have.
All right, fellas, that's our episode for this week. We are there's a good chance we will be on Apple as soon as next week. So for those of you that have not got on the Maddog and Pino bandwagon yet, there's going to be a lot more people on that bandwagon starting next week.
Don't get left off that train.
Exactly. All right, dude. Man. See you next week.
All right.
Bye.